there, Andrew. How are our callers going today?
Really good. I think we should start out with Mike in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Okay.
Mike has a friend, no, I'm just kidding, it is his friend, who's 50 years old, lost his job, and is looking for a job. But gets up, he applies, gets turned down. Applies, turned down. The last one he got turned down from, was just like, why?
Yeah, why?
Why can't I get hired? And they said, you know.
Oh.
So they got them thinking, is there something on his background check?
So they said, you know?
Yeah, they told him, you know why. So they got to thinking, is there something on the background check that they do that is, setting these employers off for not hiring him? So they're looking for a way to get a legitimate background check for his friend to see if there's anything on there that's wrong that they could possibly correct.
Okay, so is it him as his friend, or is he really calling for his friend?
I think he's really calling for his friend. We have those people that call.
Yeah,
I have a cousin, my sister's friend's friend.
You know what? It always has to do with, like, my friend was looking at porn sites. That's always the one. And his wife, my wife, is really, really upset. And
I think he's really calling for his friend.
Okay, all right.
That's pretty funny. But yes, it is actually for a friend.
Okay, good. And so an employer actually said, you know?
Yes, he called to follow up with an employer, and they said, well, we're not going to be hiring you. He simply said, well, is there a reason that I can get? And the lady literally said, oh, I think you know. Oh. And he doesn't really know. So when he told me about it, I said, well, the only thing I know to do is try to find a background check service, and let's see if we can see what they're seeing.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things that employers do right now. And then we'll talk about the whole employment background check. But a lot of folks, including ourselves, is that when we're looking to potentially hire somebody, we go into Google, we type in their name, right? And then you can add certain identifiers, say it's their name and then the city and state. And that's enough to pull up a lot of things. Like, for example, this is probably a couple of years ago, is that we were looking to hire somebody to work in our marketing department, okay? And boy, I'll tell you, she interviewed so well. You know what I'm talking about. It's like, you answer all the right questions. Teamwork makes the dream work. I don't like to take vacations. I like to work 60 hours a week. My job is my life. You know what I'm talking, everything.
Absolutely.
And so I go online and I just type in this person's name and Phoenix, Arizona, and then this whole blog appears about how she can't stand working for small companies. She hates living in cubicles. She feels like she's going to go postal. I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, all right, she's off the list, okay?
Right.
And then, of course, people type people's names into Facebook and then LinkedIn. And then there's this other site, and don't worry about writing any of these down. There's another site called peaku.com. And PeakU allows you to scour 60 different sites in order to see what information that people have put online. And then there's white pages, and then you do a Google image search. And then, of course, there's so many public records that are available online too now, Superior Court, local courts, civil courts, and so on. Now, you're saying that there's nothing in your friend's background.
He doesn't have a big social presence out there, so there's not like there's blogs or Facebook posts or anything like that. And I've known him, I guess, for 10, 15 years or so. I don't know of anything that would be out there, and he's not disclosing anything. So I don't know if there's something that would appear in more of a detailed background report. And I looked around at the sites that are out there, and there seems to be a ton of them. And there seems to be a lot of up and down reviews. Yeah, there are a ton of them. And, as simple, for somebody to say, I would be inclined to call her back and say, you know what, can you do me a favor and just tell me why so I don't make that same mistake again? It could be as simple as him saying that I worked at this particular company from October in 2002 to November of 2004. And he actually, in a background check, it says that he, in the reference check, said that he'd only worked there until October of 2004, right. But he was on severance for the next 4 weeks, so he said 2004. So it could be as simple as that. What most companies do is when they're interviewing somebody, they'll say, listen, we're going to do a background check on you. Is there anything that we should know before we actually do it? And so that gives you a chance to do it, to kind of talk it out. There's a company that we use, and I don't know if it's available to consumers, but as an employer, we use a site called Precision Hire.
And what that allows you to see is just about everything. It does a nationwide criminal database search, statewide federal crime, sex offender search, education verification, employment verification, does county criminal searches for up to 3 counties. I mean, it's really is pretty in depth. And believe it or not, all that searching only costs $70.
Okay.
And so that may be something where he performs his own background check on himself as an employer might, so that this way he can see if anything is actually getting out there that maybe it's a misinformation. Maybe there's something wrong in this database because it's so easy to transpose numbers. So if you want to know more about how to do a free background check on yourself or your friends or somebody you know, make sure you hit komando.com and that show picks. Better yet, subscribe to our free newsletters so that this way you get it delivered automatically to you.